Hey, Paul. Hey, do you have a boss? You do? Well, but you're a manager, right? So who is your boss? Like the CEO? No, it's the WIFE. What? Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Code Coder. I'm Rob Fitzgerald, here to make you great and help you innovate. In this episode, we are going to program in our respective environments, learning the material laid out for you in your Edhesive Canvas. Many of the lessons have been recorded, and you'll have to spend some time to view them. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so if you are in Intro to Computer Science, I want to start by showing you your pacing guide. Your wife? What? Anyway, let's go ahead and open those pacing guides up so you know what is due for this week. Now remember, we may or may not do lectures. I personally may or may not do lectures on these sections. If I have something to add that I think would help you out, I will add it. But most of the time, Edhesive already has some nice videos for you to follow along. All right, so if I go to, this is our daily schedule. So today is Coding Monday. And if I go to your class, Intro to Computer Science, and go to your modules, you'll see that they have a nice laid out course pacing guide for you to follow. All right, so it's right here. So I will look at it. Now last week we were 2.1 to 2.4. All right, and remember, not a lot of hand holding there. Just you have to get it done. Remember, it's not due by the end of the week, but it is due by the end of the grading period if you want it on this grading period. I've been putting the projects due October 30th. That means like they're all due October 30th. And that's just because the grading period ends. And if you're gonna get a grade, you got for this term, you have to get the stuff done by October 30th. But that doesn't mean that they are turned off. You could always catch up, binge work or something. I don't know what we're gonna call that. So if you look, last week we did 2.1. That was week 5. This is week 6, and we are now doing 2.5 random numbers, unit quiz, and then 2.6 big data, and 2.7 working with a real data set. I love this week for you guys. And my other classes aren't doing this, but big data is a big topic. It's very interesting. In fact, I'm going to show you a video I want you to watch on your own. That is a very interesting video. It's not part of the videos that I want you to do. The videos that I want you to do are going to be back here. So we're doing 2.5 to 2.7. All right. So if you want to know, and like I said, we may or may not talk about all of them. So you got to just keep busting through them, and hopefully you can get through them today and tomorrow. So on Wednesday, you can work on your AWS project. All right. Style tile. We're going to start getting into HTML and some CSS, which is going to be really exciting. I looked up some stuff on Amazon. We're going to do some S3 buckets, but we're going to go into Cloud9. Okay. Cloud9 is another console that we could work with to code. And I know a lot of people have been having trouble, especially if you're on a Chromebook. How do I do a simple text edit or an HTML document? And we should do it in the cloud. So if you have a Chromebook and you're doing everything in the cloud, you're doing really good. And so I'll show you Cloud9. That's where you're going to code. All right. So that index.html page will no longer be something you can't find or do. All right. So here is your stuff. So look at this. Here's 2.5. It talks about random numbers. You could pull a random number. That's the most almost AI type of thing out of your code early on. You could pick a random number All right. And that's good for games, and it's good for a lot of things. And it's really it feels like the computer's kind of in control. It's picking a random number. And by that random number, what it picks, it could change colors or see who wins or make decisions for you. And random numbers are really, really cool. All right. 2.6, big data. It is all about big data now. Okay. Now, if you went on Instagram and liked something, that doesn't really tell too much. But if a billion people went on Instagram and liked something, that's big. That's big data. So what big data talks about is how computers can come to some kind of trend by just the unbelievable amount of data that's processed and put into them. And only computers could do this. We can't do this. It would take us as human beings forever to add this up and find trends. Okay. You guys, by the way, fishing, remember I said there's the fishing app out there? There's trends. Even fish are creating trends, and these fishing apps help people see what those trends might be. It might be good, it might be bad. I start thinking about this. All right. But if you go to big data, actually, let me start with 2.5. All right. And you'll see that you have about 14 minutes of videos to watch here. Okay. And then I want you to watch those, and you might not do anything today but watch videos. Okay. We have so many videos to watch that you may not do anything, but after you watch the videos of 2.5, they always have lesson practice and then a code practice. You might want to do that. And then at 2.6, you have about 9 minutes of videos to watch right through here. See that? And then in 2.7, you have about, I wrote this down, about 15 more minutes of videos to watch. Okay, so you could watch them all one time and then come back and do the lessons, or you could do 2.5, watch 14 minutes of videos, and then do the exercise and come back. All right. But the one I really want to take you guys, this is kind of just extra, and I just want to show it to you because I watched it and I thought it was fantastic. At the very bottom, they have some external learning pieces, and down here they have a TED Talk by Jennifer Golbick that I thought was fantastic. All right, so I want you to watch it, and she's talking about big data. All right, and just to give you a preview of what it's about, she talks about curly fries. Okay. So big data could get you some unbelievable trends. So you'll have to watch that video to see why curly fries has anything to do with big data. So I encourage you to watch that. Now it's 9 minutes, and I just did double time. Remember how you could do double time? I did double time and I could hear it fine. So do it double time. So now you get 4 minutes out of your life back. All right. So if you want to do it double time, but it is worth watching and figure out why big data has something to do with those curly fries. All right. So that's all I want you guys to do today. Make sure that you try to keep up with your coding, and we'll be back with the AWS project on Wednesday. All right. So for AP Computer Science Principles, here's what you guys are doing. Here's the weekly pacing guide for you guys. So this was, that's CSA, sorry. I actually took your guys' pacing guide and go ahead.
Oh, we can't see your screen.
All right. Let's fix that. Hi, guys. Okay, so there's oh, you can't see my screen? Oh, I'm not sharing. Okay. I'm not presenting. And I am now. How about now? All right, so there we go. All right, so here is the pacing guide for AP Computer Science Principles. And this was broken before, and now it's not because I copied and pasted it into a doc, a Google Doc. Maybe I could just share the Google Doc with you guys. That's how I'll do it. Okay, but for right now, let's just take a look. Here's week 5 was, remember you guys were doing iteration, and I'm sorry, you were doing This doesn't look right either. You were doing sequencing and pseudocode, and that's how we got into the style tile and stuff in our AWS project. So that was kind of neat. That's neat stuff. But now this week we want to go, you'll start with the Unit 2 quiz. It's a halfway point, I guess. I think that's why they did it there. No, actually you got more down here. But anyway, week 5 has 2.5 applying selection, 2.6, and 2.7. Okay, so that's what you guys will be working on this week. How come I feel like that might be, yeah, I think that's right. Or are we in 2.6 with you guys? Yeah, how come I feel everyone else is in week 6 and you guys are backed up to week 5? I'll have to look at that. All right, you can see week 6 coming. It's implying iteration, procedures, Moore's law, logic gates. I think you guys are in week 5. At least that's what I had. Actually, in my notes, I had you guys down for week 6. So you guys are at 2.7 applying iteration, 2.8 procedures, and 2.9 solvability. And if anyone has questions on that or can help me with that one, let me know. Maybe I skipped week 5. Or maybe I just let that for you guys. I wish I would have just watched. I wish I would have looked at my screen. I would have seen that. You guys were all screaming that you can't see my screen, and I wasn't looking. So anyway, thanks you guys. Thanks for trying. All right, so here we are all in week 6. Intro to computer science, CSP, CSA. Everyone's in week 6. So this was last week. We didn't talk too much about it, but that's where you were at if you're keeping up and try to keep up. And you have great lectures up there with your teachers that can show you how to get through that. So this week we are, to stay up with the pacing, it is 2.7, 2.8, and 2.9. Okay. And so let's kind of talk about that CSP. We want to go into that and look at some of the things that you might encounter this week. All right, here's 2.7. And so you're going to do iteration, and iteration is just something that you go over and over and over. Like when your parents tell you, do I need to repeat myself? And they just keep going over and over. We kind of have it built into us, right? We just say stuff over and over and over. We have the iteration piece. Well, how does a computer iterate or keep going over things? And so I see that, Andrew, I see that you're here. Thank you. All right. So repetition, it has a place. And so you'll see how to do repetition. All right. Now, repetition is very common in all languages. So learn this and you'll know repetition in Java, in Python, and any language you're doing, they have some kind of iteration piece. Okay. So walk yourself through those. And at the end, you will finish with a Unit 2 quiz, I believe. Let's go back to that and let's look to see where this ends up. Here's 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, and then there's the Unit 2 quiz after 2.10. Was that where we were at, the pacing guide? And the pacing guide, yeah. So you start with 2.7 and end with the Unit 2 quiz. Let's just do this I'm probably slowing you down more than anything. Why don't you guys just get going with your 2.7, work all the way through Unit 2 quiz 2, and that's through tomorrow, man. That's your 2 days that I want you guys to take on, because you have coding Monday and you have coding Tuesday. All right. So if you could go through that, crank that stuff out. If you have problems, get a hold of me, either email or text me in here, and I will go over any problems that you're having, and then try to free yourself up for AWS Project Wednesday. Okay. All right. Now let's go to CSA. CSA, you guys, I want to show your pacing guide. Okay. And so let me do that here. This is your pacing guide. And so you're September 8th through October 2. We're going to leave the month of September this week. All right. And so here it is. You guys last week did lesson 4 and 5. And now you guys are doing way over there, unit 2, lesson 6, 7, and 8. Last week you did, remember we did a lecture at the board with objects. Remember, using constructors is how to create those objects. Now remember, when you use the word new over on the heap memory, an object gets created. How does it get created? Through its constructor. Okay, so hopefully you understand constructors, and maybe you, as you watch the videos, you saw that there can be multiple constructors. You can construct something just blank, okay, or you can have multiple overloaded constructors to where you could send in, I think in your videos they did a basic string, and you could create a string with nothing on it, or you could create a string with a hello. All right, so you could send something to the constructor or to the object. All right, and then Emily wants to know the Unit 2 quiz. I thought I turned them all off. I will turn them all off, okay? I'm turning the quiz access codes off, but obviously for CSA, maybe I didn't. And that's awesome that you're all the way there already. Wow, okay. I thought maybe I was going too fast. So you're going Unit 2 quiz. Where is that? Oh, wow. Unit 2 quiz is... Oh, there it is. Oh, it was last week's. Okay. So yeah, so I'll turn that off, Emily. And so you guys could go right into it. All right. And so let's turn all those off. I don't know what we were getting at with all those quizzes. That was if we were all going to take the quiz at the same time in class, and we're not doing that. So we'll turn those off. Okay, so there you go. So let's take a look at a little bit of that in case there's some questions on it. And I don't think I have many questions on it. So here's CSA. Remember, we're in adhesive. We're doing AWS Future Engineers curriculum. And if you go into the modules for CSA, you have lessons 6. Here's it, using methods. Okay. And then lesson 7, wrapper classes. Okay, and lesson 8, math functions. Now these wrapper classes might be the only thing you might struggle with. Now listen, when you create an object, it will have a function. So we always use the object on the board. We use the object, the Ford Mustang, right? So what is one of its methods? Well, it could drive, it could steer, it could go fast. Some can, some can't. Okay, so it's obvious with objects you will have methods, and methods you can be seen as functions. Okay, so anytime you're talking about functions, even in your math classes, you're talking about methods. Okay, methods that your objects have, and that'll be written right into the class or the blueprint. The wrapper class should take some board work, and I got to put a lecture together on wrapper classes. Why would you want wrapper classes? Okay, and I have a great lecture, at least I think it's a great analogy of everybody getting on a bus to go to downtown LA to work. Think about a bus. Everyone will get on that bus and go down to downtown LA. But what if that bus only took doctors? Okay, so you'd have to be a doctor to get on that bus. Well, that's not very efficient, right? So what does everybody wrap themselves in to get on the bus? The only requirement to get on the bus to go downtown LA is you have to be human. But what if I'm a doctor? What if I'm a lawyer? What if I'm a teacher? Can I get on the bus? Yeah, you can get on the bus, but you first have to just wrap yourself as a human. So an object might want to have 2 definitions. You might want to be a doctor, but then wrapped in as a human so you can get on the bus. Or, check this out. Let's do it the other way. You're a human, you're allowed on the bus, but this bus only goes to UCLA Medical Center. So in order to get on this bus, you have to wrap yourself as a doctor. You see what I'm saying? So even you have multiple wrappers. And so these objects do the same thing. So wrapper classes do that. I'm not sure how, I haven't watched the videos on that, but those will be confusing to you, and we will talk more about that. I will put a lecture together. We'll go do some board work, CSA. Okay, so get working on that. Start watching your videos and get your code done so Wednesday we can do more AWS projects. All right, so that does it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, always trying to make you great and help you innovate. So until next time, what, Paul? Yeah. All right. And if you have questions, leave comments below, subscribe, like. I guess I miss all that stuff. I forget to say all that stuff. That's what everyone else is doing. All right. Or you can go to the get some more information at the website at www.themightycodecoder.com, or find me at Twitter at themightycodecoder. Thank you for watching, Paul. I know I sometimes I don't forget, but you always try to remind me of that. I don't know why you do that.